Jamaica's forthcoming Demerit Point System, a major shift in road traffic enforcement. Jamaica is preparing to introduce one of the most significant changes to road traffic enforcement in decades with the full implementation of the Demerit Point System on October 1st, 2026. The system established under the Road Traffic Act 2018 and the Road Traffic Regulations 2022 is designed to identify and remove persistent traffic offenders from the nation's roads while encouraging safer driving habits among motorists. The government has described the initiative as a critical component of its wider road safety strategy following years of concern over high rates of traffic fatalities, dangerous driving, and widespread non-payment of traffic tickets. The implementation marks the end of several years of postponements, reviews, and technical preparation. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced in June that the grace period previously granted to motorists would end on September 30, 2026, after which the authorities will adopt what he described as a zero-tolerance approach to traffic violations. Officials say motorists have been given ample opportunity to regularize outstanding tickets before enforcement begins. Why the demerit system is being introduced. Successive administrations have argued that Jamaica's traditional traffic enforcement model has failed to adequately deter repeat offenders. Authorities estimate that more than 1.1 million traffic tickets remain outstanding, with thousands of motorists continuing to drive despite accumulating numerous offences over several years. Government officials contend that many of these drivers repeatedly endanger other road users because existing enforcement mechanisms have not consistently resulted in license suspensions or meaningful behavioral change. The demerit system aims to change that by attaching consequences directly to a driver's license rather than relying solely on monetary fines. Instead of simply paying a ticket and continuing to drive, motorists who repeatedly violate traffic laws will accumulate demerit points that can eventually lead to the suspension of their driving privileges. How the system will work. Under the new framework, every licensed driver begins with 0 demerit points. Whenever a driver commits a specified traffic offense, such as speeding or other designated moving violations, points will be added to that driver's record. Unlike some international systems where points are deducted from an initial balance, Jamaican system works by accumulating points for offences. Once a driver reaches the legal threshold, the Island Traffic Authority, or the ITA, will be responsible for suspending the driver's license in accordance with the Road Traffic Act and accompanying regulations. The ITA will administer the system through the Ticket Information Management System, which will record offences, generate notices, and manage license suspensions and reinstatements. Suspension thresholds. One of the key features of the system is the accumulation threshold. According to government guidance, driver begins with 0 points. Points are added whenever qualifying offences are committed. Accumulating 10 or more demerit points triggers license suspension under the prescribed rules. Following completion of the suspension period, the driver's points balance is reset to 0 before driving privileges are restored. The duration of the suspension depends on the number and seriousness of offences accumulated under the regulations. Expiry of demerit points. The legislation also includes a mechanism that rewards improved driving behavior. If a driver accumulates fewer than the suspension threshold, the demerit points do not remain permanently. Instead, points remain active for 15 months. If no suspension occurs during that period, the points expire automatically. The driver's record is then cleared of those expired points. This feature is intended to encourage long-term compliance rather than permanently penalizing motorists who commit isolated offences. Outstanding tickets before October. A major concern among motorists has been whether old unpaid traffic tickets would immediately trigger license suspensions when the system begins. To address this issue, the government announced that motorists who pay outstanding traffic tickets and become compliant on or before September 30, 2026 will not be adversely affected by the commencement of the administrative demerit system. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck also indicated that Parliament would be asked to approve measures allowing administrative demerit points that could have accrued before that date to be vacated. Officials have repeatedly urged drivers to use the remaining months to settle outstanding fines and update their records before enforcement begins. Multi-agency enforcement. Implementation involves several government agencies working together. These include the Island Traffic Authority, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Tax Administration Jamaica, the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, the Ministry of Energy, Transport and Telecommunications. Authorities say months of system testing, staff training, data validation, and interagency coordination have been completed ahead of the October launch. Focus on dangerous driving. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has stressed that the purpose of the demerit system is road safety, not revenue generation. Government officials say particular attention will be given to offences that contribute directly to crashes and fatalities, including excessive speeding, reckless and dangerous driving, other moving violations that endanger road users. Earlier reviews of the regulations also considered reducing or removing demerit points for some non-moving vehicle defects, such as certain equipment-related offences, so that the system focuses primarily on behaviours that pose the greatest risk on the road. Court-imposed demerit points continue. Chief Justice Brian Sykes has also clarified that the forthcoming administrative system does not replace the powers of the courts. Motorists prosecuted before the courts remain liable for court-imposed demerit points where required by law, driver disqualification orders, other penalties available under the Road Traffic Act. The new administrative system therefore operates alongside, not instead of, the judicial process. Public passenger vehicle operators. Public passenger vehicle, PPV, operators are expected to be among the groups most affected. Earlier government reviews found that thousands of PPV license holders would have been eligible for suspension under earlier versions of the regulations, prompting revisions before full implementation. Officials maintain that commercial drivers, because they transport members of the public daily, have an especially important responsibility to comply with road traffic laws. Road safety. The rollout comes as Jamaica continues efforts to reduce road deaths. Government officials have linked the initiative to the country's broader road safety strategy, noting that well over 100 people had already lost their lives in traffic crashes during the first half of 2026. Officials argue that stronger enforcement, combined with improved driver accountability, is essential if the country is to reverse the long-term trend of fatal collisions. When the Demerit Point System becomes operational on October 1st, 2026, Jamaica's approach to traffic enforcement will shift from one focused primarily on issuing fines to one that directly affects a driver's ability to remain licensed. Drivers who repeatedly ignore traffic laws risk suspension, while those who maintain good driving records can have accumulated points removed after the prescribed period. The government says the success of the program will depend not only on enforcement, but also on public compliance and a sustained commitment to safer driving. If effectively administered, officials believe that the demerit point system could become one of the most significant road safety reforms introduced in Jamaica in recent years, encouraging greater discipline on the nation's roads while reducing crashes, injuries, and fatalities. Subscribe today, turn on notifications, and never miss the stories that matter most. Jamaica News Now, your Highlands, your news, right now.